Hey, Facebook, YouTube.
There are no good old days. That's one of my favorites. I don't change my mind to update my belief system. I got all kinds of stuff in here. Actually, we need to nail down the whole book thing.
Yes, and quickly. Hey, Facebook, YouTube, thanks. Like, love, share, please, all those things. You may not realize how important it is, but it is important if you just do a few clicks right now. Tonight we have apartment investing, small apartment investment group meeting here at the Texas Real Estate Investment Center. It's $10. Just go to our webpage, click through the link, you'll get to Eventbrite, and make sure you show up for that. That's a big one. Talking about funding. We spend probably, you and I spend about 5 to 10 hours a week talking about funding, and then we've got 2 people in our office whose job it is every day to figure out funding. So imagine if you're not spending at least 5 hours a week on it, what you're missing. So we're going to give you guys all the update tonight. So make sure you come and check out small apartment investing. Tomorrow night we're going to be at Stampede.
Yep. I'm going to be talking.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
By the way, I think I got the videos for this week, A-Rock, so we might be good there, but we're going to work on some other stuff. Yep. And I have not decided yet. I've kind of decided and kind of haven't. Let me put it that way. On the fence about what one could learn about life when I went to Northern Tier with the Boy Scouts. It's pretty good. And so I'm not sure, because, I don't know if you heard the show the other day. I'm getting more into this mindset stuff because I'm realizing that, look, all you have to do is get off your butt at this point. Like, all you have to do is, you just got to start working. And I'm tired of the vision boards and the platitudes and the quotes on Facebook on all that. It's real simple, guys. It's get to work.
Right.
It's just get to work.
Yep.
And while you're sitting there waiting, the HAR report came out a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And you waited a year, houses got 20% more expensive. Yeah, you want to brag about? Are we on the radio?
No, we're on the. We'll go to radio right now. Okay. Hey, and then Thursday night, guys, make sure we have our mastermind preview. That's a big night for us. You'll be able to talk to all the existing mastermind members about the deals that we're bringing. Last night we sat down with about 12 people and we went over 15 deals. So we're constantly delivering deals to our folks. And if you're looking for deals, you might want to join the mastermind because it's cheaper than a wholesale fee.
Yeah,
it's cheaper than a wholesale fee.
It is cheaper. Welcome to the show. Jason Bible, Robin Orfino, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. COVID-free.
There you go.
At the Texas Real Estate Investment Center. I am getting a kick out of how many folks are showing up here, putting their masks on because they know Brian and I were infected.
Yeah. Shutting
doors, putting signs on my office.
Yeah, I did.
Biohazard zone. Yeah. So we were talking before we got started here that folks who are waiting.
Oh, it's not good.
Like that house you didn't buy last year is now going to cost you 20 to 30% more today.
It's a 30% market, year over year, consistently now. And I think next year we're still going to be in the high teens, maybe 20, low 20s. And then the year after that, we're still in the teens. And you're going to turn around in 3 years, you're going to wake up and everything's up by 50, 60%.
Well, what I have noticed is, going out here last weekend, a couple weekends ago, that there are a lot of people that are not going out anymore.
Yes.
And Houston's been open. When did we officially open? 6 months ago? Was it January?
No.
Before that?
It was after that.
I don't remember when we officially opened.
Yeah, it was like March or April.
Yeah, okay. So March or April. So everyone thinks Houston's open. It's really not.
It's open. There's a whole population segment that's chosen not to participate.
Well, and it's not just people over 40 or people over 30.
Yeah.
There's a large swath of people that are just not going out.
Right.
And I see it. I read a report this morning from McKesson where they talked about changes in consumer habits.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that in a big way in this marketplace.
I got my HEB delivered now. Love it.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yep.
So here's the problem. If you're if you're waiting for a real estate crash, here's what really happens. It means the single family house has become the most important asset in the country.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's your place where you can raise your family. It's your office. It's all these things now. And most folks really don't want to live in apartment complexes if they don't have to. Mm-hmm. So the reality is that folks are just staying home and they're buying houses they want to live in and they're upgrading and all that other stuff. And it's causing a big strain in the market. The other thing that I found this past weekend when I was out running around town doing the whole bar, restaurant, club thing is that there were a ton of folks that had moved here in the last year or two that had friends visiting from out of state. So as soon as the country really starts to open up and they're able to sell some houses, sell their house, or the job market continues to improve, we're going to see even more people move to Texas. In fact, I can almost tell you what the states are: Nevada, Texas, Arizona, and Florida. Those are going to be the big states where there's this massive influx of folks from other states that have essentially been locked down for a year and a half now. And as that continues to happen, what's going to happen? Price of real estate is going to go up. I had a friend of mine just hit me up on Facebook and he said, "Hey, I'd like to move in the first couple of years and I think we want to sell our house and take the equity out." And I said, "Well, don't. Like, live in that house as long as you can because it's just going to make you more and more and more money." The whole idea that there's a real estate crash coming is absolutely absurd. In fact, if you really want to see the data, type in Houston real estate prices, FRED, F-R-E-D, Houston real estate prices, FRED, and a chart will come up from the St. Louis Federal Reserve that will show the prices and the subsequent downturns in the economy in Texas, and in particular in Houston. Real estate doesn't really slow down here. I mean, there was a quote real estate crash, but our median home price kept going up. So if you think there's this 2008 style crash coming again and you're going to get houses at 25 cents or 50 cents on the dollar, it's not going to happen. It's just not.
I would say conversely, for those looking to take action, right, and they're not waiting, they're okay, I'm going to go do it, they're stymied too. They're running up against a brick wall because there's just not enough deals out there.
Yeah, our inventory's down 50%.
It's way, way down.
Let me pull up a hard report.
Wholesalers just disappeared, right? They're not even there anymore. And so where are you finding deals? And that's the biggest thing that we talk about to all these folks that are coming through. We're doing small apartments. We're doing the mastermind preview. We'll be over at Stampede. Everyone's going to be talking about where are you finding deals, right? And we're looking at 25 to 50 properties a week, making 20 offers and lining up 6 or 7, 8 deals, right? And so we don't have a problem because we know how to do it because we've been in both the up market and the down market.
So total active listings are down 31%.
Yeah. So if you were looking out there looking for these low-hanging fruit and it was always easy for you, that's not what's happening right now.
We are down to 1.5 months of inventory.
Yeah. And we're still delivering.
Yeah, 1.5 months of inventory. Let me explain what that really means, especially below the median home price, which is now $314,000. Median home price was up 20%. Let me put these, and maybe I'll talk about this at the Stampede event Wednesday night. Let me put some of this in perspective. If your house lost 20% of its value in the last year, you would be freaking out. Like, folks would be defaulting on their homes because they're not worth as much. I mean, all that kind of crazy stuff. House prices are up 20%. In fact, vacation properties, we looked at one of yours today, are up 52%.
I love it.
The house, I'm buying a beach house right now. Let me see how much. I originally had the one next door under contract at, do you remember, was that $250?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm happy to buy the one next door at $370. So that's up 48% in a year. And we don't anticipate that stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, which is, again, why we're doing the things we're doing right now. So some of the things that we've got 2 great deals that are going on the market right now. We've got a duplex and a 3-unit. The 3-unit's already out there, and we're getting hit after hit after hit. Our Surfside stuff that we're selling, if we listed something for $389 at Surfside and got 25 hits in the first 4 days, I'm thinking the price is too low.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to take highest and best.
Yeah,
and
we'll
all,
have to do all that stuff. And so we've got 2 more coming on the market down to Surfside, so there'll be a lot of buzz down there. Where else? So we got the small multis, the 2s and the 3s, and we've got a 13 unit that we're gonna have to put some more paperwork out on the listing, but that should start getting hits. People are moving on this stuff. And so I think the bigger problem is, okay, so the folks who aren't waiting, the folks who are actually doing it, are still 18 to 24 months behind on this market. Mm-hmm. So they're making offers like it was 2 years ago or 12 months ago. And, like we got like 1 or 2 rehabs that are just really slow. But my joke is, well, yeah, the carry on that's $2,400 a month, but I think I just made $8,000 right this month because the numbers go up so much. So people are kind of not understanding where they should be pricing their offers if they want to be aggressive and get properties.
At the median home price, houses are increasing in value $5,200 a month.
Right.
This is real simple math. And of course, everyone's saying, Jason, there's a housing bubble. You understand? I keep getting this guy keeps emailing me. He's like, yeah, if you think real estate's expensive, no. And I'm like, hey, man, you might want to look and see what's going on in this marketplace.
Right. No,
it's absolutely insane.
So there's guys that just aren't playing, right? They're just on the sideline. Hey, anyway, this is Jason Robert with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. We're going to be back. Hang tight.
I cannot keep up with the emails.
Hey, welcome back. This is Robert and Jason with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Hey, so we get it. We've kind of beat that dead horse for folks that are waiting for the crash, but we should look at it differently for folks that are trying to be active in this market and not quite understanding why they're not getting deals. Mm-hmm. Right? So we looked at a house that was for $87,000. We're not going to say what market it is, but it was $87,000. And they're not budging off the number. And I know we got at least $40,000 worth of work. Mm-hmm. I said that will appraise today at $140,000. Mm-hmm. So with closing and all that stuff, we're right there. We're buying it at retail.
Right.
However, we ran and looked at the report, and we saw a 27% year over year. So it's pretty good bet that that's going to be 20% more in less than 12 months.
Well, it's going to take you 6 months to do the rehab.
Right. So we're going to be looking at $140,000 for we're all in on it, but by the time we're done with the rehab and either going to do a refi or we're going to sell it,
it's going to be almost 160.
Yeah, 160, 170, right? So then you can get your 70% loan to value, 75% loan to value, and those deals work as a landlord. We looked at another one that maybe is worth $210,000 and we can get it for under $90,000. Needs a lot of work, but still, if we sell it in 9 months, we put it on a spring market, it's not $210,000 anymore, it's $250,000.
You know what I find fascinating is when you talk to real estate investors, you say, hey, do you invest in the equity markets? Yeah, man, I buy Apple and Google and Netflix, whatever. And I'm like, okay, do you get a discount on any of that? No, the only way you make money is when those goes up. So why are you not doing the same thing with real estate? Yeah. Plus it cash flows, which your other portfolio does not unless you're in bonds and some other different types of equities. But the reality is like, why do we treat real estate differently?
Well, it's just bad education, right? It's just bad knowledge.
Well, yeah.
That's what it is. No guru is out there with a program for a seller's market.
That's a good point.
Right? So they don't know how to work in this market, but that's why, again, I don't want to keep talking about this crash and all this other nonsense, but that's really where it's coming from. It's coming from the gurus that have a program that does not fit a seller's market. Mm-hmm. So, hey, man, buy my $10,000, $25,000, $30,000, $50,000 project program here, and as soon as the crash comes, you'll be ready.
Well, my favorite is I'm getting hit all the time with, there's 4 million potential foreclosures out there, and you have to know how to work the foreclosure market. And I'm like, I'm like, bro, let me explain something to you here. Let me explain something to everybody right now. We have 1.5 months of inventory, and that is 13,000 houses. That tells you how fast we're selling them, right? So in order for us to get to 10 months of inventory, we would have to be at 130,000 houses on the market, which is the equivalent of a year's worth of inventory. Mm-hmm. So we would have to 10x, to borrow from Grant Cardone, the number of properties on the market before we start seeing property price reductions.
It's not happening.
It's not happening. People that are screaming from the hilltops are bad at math, or they're scared. Oh, I'm so scared. But I don't see, every time I look at the data, I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it.
Well, I think we're doing really phenomenal. We have our new fund, the Texas Real Estate Appreciation Fund. By the end of the year, we'll have made $1 million in that fund already, and we're barely talking to any investors. We're not even promoting it big. We're trying to fill out the other syndication. So that thing's going to explode. We're right on pace with that. And we're just finding the right products to buy in the right markets, and it's making a lot of sense. Now, is there a lot of bad stuff out there? Yeah, we saw someone peddling a 4-cap apartment, right?
And it wasn't a brand new Class A in California.
No, right, and it was something that was just, and the ad values didn't make any sense to me, and I'm like, this is, I don't believe this.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I understand there's probably 10, 11% in fees, so that's great because someone's going to make a lot of money, but it ain't me.
Right.
Right? So there are bad deals out there, which people have to be aware of, and there always are. The trick in this market is finding the good deals, right?
Well, and what'll bail that deal out is rents in single family, at least. I haven't looked at apartments. Rents in single family are up 10% year over year. Yeah. So if you're in single family and you're a single family landlord, and that's 1 to 4 units, you're doing really well. I mean, we had to adjust the pricing on some of ours here most recently. Heck, American Homes for Rent, which had, I don't know, maybe it was a couple thousand vacancies. I think they immediately went up 15% in price. So this whole idea that there's these smoking hot deals out there and I'm going to, sneak one out for 70% minus repairs and no money out of pocket, that's not going to happen. That ended in 2012. What you really need to be focused on is how do I get the capital, get the deal closed so I can enjoy the appreciation and the cash flow for the next couple of years. Because 20% of appreciation in a leveraged asset is a massive return.
For sure.
In fact, I can run it real quick. I got my calculator. Let me make sure I got the right calculator on here.
Yeah, again, they'll get bailed out by the market. But right now, I would, so we just find better deals. I mean, I just looked at an 8 cap, right? We found an 8.5 cap. And it's not an A property, right? But it's still an 8 cap. It's running. It's higher than the market value that we have out there. We know, C's are at like 5.5 cap, 6 cap. So it's a great deal. So you just have to be careful. You want to be aggressive in this market, but there's a little path to this stuff, right? And again, we had the property hunt last night for all the mastermind members. So we had about 12 people here. And we're going through the market saying, hey, look at this, look for this. This is going to turn. You're going to go ahead and start looking at this stuff. And tons of education last night. And those people are well armed going in, so they feel confident they can make offers. Now, do we still get guys once in a while who are like, yeah, hey, I don't see the value there. We're like, we understand. You either believe that this stuff is appreciating or you're not, right? So there's either a great conspiracy on all this data or you're wrong.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Right? Or you're wrong. And if you're wrong, well, that's even harder pill to swallow, right? So you're somewhere along the line, something's not connecting with you. I don't know what it is, but that really puts you in a bad position to be a real estate investor in this market. It's a seller's market. There is a strategy for sellers' markets. Everything that is $997 and $25,000 is a buyer's market. Mm-hmm. Very, very little in a seller's market to actually show you how to do things. And unfortunately for our mastermind members, we know how to work a seller's market.
Well, I think the most important takeaway here is, and when we talk to all the folks, like Jennifer Hernandez, when she comes by, is always a good conversation because she's been doing this, fairly long time.
Right.
And when I ask her, have you ever seen a market like this? She says no. Mm-hmm. So if a guru comes out and says, "Oh, I know this market. I totally seen it." No, you haven't.
Yeah.
This is between now and 2028 will be the hottest real estate market the country has ever experienced.
Exactly.
No one has gone through this. So if you're not actively buying properties on a monthly basis, you don't know what you're doing. Like whenever I'm going to run into a bunch of people tomorrow night and they're going to offer me all this great free advice.
Oh, lots of advice.
And I'd say, "Great. So when was the last property you closed?" "Oh, last year." "Hey man, your data set's way out of date." Like your advice is less than worthless.
I'm being strategic, Jason, with my my acquisitions.
No, you don't know what you're doing.
I got a plan. I'm working my plan.
All right, so I just put together a quick deal in our deal analyzer.
Hold on, we'll do it right after the break here. This is Robert Jason with world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. Check out our website, MRTXRE. There's an event page up there. You can see all the events. We got a really busy week, and we got a busy next week. So we want to see you guys around at the Texas Real Estate Investment Center. We want to see you out at Stampede, which is kind of, if you're listening to this right now, we should all be pulling out of the parking lot of Stampede. But we'll do the mastermind preview tomorrow night on Thursday. But anyway, go to mrtxre.com. Hey, hang tight. We'll be back. I don't know if she's talking about a landscaper or my investor or an investor.
Oh, what are you getting text from?
I'm getting an investor. We had a little rollback incident on the garage door.
Oh, at the house?
So I asked her to park outside the garage. And then the landscaper showed up and says, "Whose car is that?"
Oh.
Because he never sees it. He's like, "Are you gone? You owe me money." I'm like, "Just cut the lawn, dude. I'm here."
Yeah, that's funny. Welcome to the show. Jason Bible, Robert Orfino, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. All right, so I just popped into our deal analyzer, $165,000 house.
The Mr. Texas Real Estate exclusive deal.
Exclusive deal analyzer. We do not send it out for free.
No.
We will if you write us $10,000 check.
Yes.
So
This month.
In any case, I just popped in there. It's $165,000. It's an 80% deal, but it's worth ARV's 165. So at 20% appreciation, let's say that only happens till year 3. That house is worth $285,000.
Right.
And I know what you're going to say. "Oh, that can't happen. There's no way." It's happening all over the state.
It just happened.
It just
In
happened.
the last 18 months, guys. The last 2 years. Look at it.
Yeah, and everyone laughed then when I said, "You think real estate's expensive now? Just wait."
We were calling $400,000 about 2 years ago.
That's right. I've got the prediction somewhere. I can pull it
Yeah,
up.
we said
median home
this market's
price
going to 400. Yeah.
Median home price will be like 434. It's in one of my.
Yeah.
I want to say it's about 2 years old now. In 5 years, median home price will be 434. We're already at 315. So we really only need 2 years of 20% appreciation. Boom, we're there.
Yeah.
Beat my prediction, right? So
Yes.
then I started looking at, okay, well, what if we have 10% rent appreciation and 4% gross cost inflation? Meaning it costs 4% more to operate your property every year, but rent is increasing 10%, which is pretty typical for our single family houses. By the end of year 3, your monthly cash flow is $1,245 a month on a $165,000 house that you're in at 80%. So this whole idea that I've got to buy these things at a super big discount, you're totally missing the point here.
Yeah.
I mean, the end of year 3, just the appreciation alone, your loan balance is $112,000. Your net equity is $145,000.
Yeah.
You made $145,000 holding on to a single family house that cash flows for 3 years.
We're tracking about $1 million in appreciation in that new fund in less than 1 year because we know how to make offers.
Yeah, and how many assets are in there?
They'll be significant. There should be about 30.
Well, I'm trying to remember. I'm mentally looking at the spreadsheet right now.
17 there right now, and then what we're bringing in. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 17 now. We're bringing in another 15. So yeah, if you guys want to sit at home and watch the show, more than
Have fun
with that.
Good. Crack a beer.
But
Let's do happy hour.
yeah, let's do a happy hour. We can all talk about what we're not buying. But that's literally the conversation we have every day: is how many properties can we buy and how fast can we buy them?
Yep.
And the folks that are in our funds, we've got a new fund. The folks that are in our fund get to participate in some of that equity, some of that appreciation.
You bet. This new fund is going to be up to a 14% bonus at the end.
Yeah. So
Nice.
we'll pay 7 to 8% preferred return, depending on how much you put in.
And then a 10 to 14% bonus at the end.
Yeah. So if you invest a minimum of $100,000, it's pretty sweet.
Not a bad deal.
Yeah. Get 8% preferred return paid quarterly, and at the
Yeah.
end you make another 14% on your money. But real estate's probably not for you.
Right. So the problem, so we had one of, I don't like telling tales out of school here, but we had a big investor in yesterday, right? And the realization is, hey, I'm still going to outperform what I'm making elsewhere,
Yes.
so I'm good, right? But I'm still thinking about. Remember, we have a lot of fun with I got the gold, all those I got the gold people,
Yeah.
right? Well, there's no deals, so there ain't a lot of flippers coming to them. The flippers that are coming to them are got bad deals, right?
Yeah.
So, we ran into another investor that said, yeah, I got some money that I'm holding on to. I want to spend it. I want to invest it over the course of the year. And I'm like, that's the worst strategy I've heard in my life.
Yeah.
You're going to make zero. You're going to make minus 0%
Yeah.
for the next 90 to 120 days. And then what are you going to do? Deploy it with some brand new flipper off the bus and try and make 12% on him?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
So, some people get it, some people don't. That's fine. Our stuff is all laid out.
Well, the time value of money is difficult for people to understand.
Yes.
The time value of money, because what ends up happening is they don't invest, and then they have to play catch up. And you hear this all the time in the retirement circles. Oh, I got to catch up because I got to do.
Yeah, I got to make 15% for the next 5 years. Like,
Yeah,
where's that happening?
Where is that?
Right.
You're going to ratchet up the risk to such a level that
Right.
you're probably going to lose 15%.
Yeah. Well, that's always the joke, right? We get a lot of those family offices, and they're like, we need to see a minimum 15% return
Yeah, and I'm like, why?
because we've lost a lot of deals.
Right, right,
Yeah, we need to make 15% because we keep losing on the high risk stuff.
right. And it's like, well, if you just gotten into this deal, you probably made 25%.
Yep.
Even though our projections were only 12%. So it's interesting for me to watch that mental accounting and justification that goes on between
crazy.
the ears. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
And it's usually seed planted somewhere else. Like, and I love those guys over there, but there's one of those guys at that office there that gets in front of the audience and tells how he makes 12% on all his money. And I'm like, you don't. Who's doing that?
Yeah.
There's tons of flippers that are out of this business, right? They're just not there anymore.
Yeah.
So where are you getting 12%, right? And then you talk to the other people, the private lenders, and you're like, hey, how many and I ask them straight up, how many loans got defaulted on in the last 18 months? They don't tell me the
Everybody gets real
exact number,
quiet.
but they give me a sort of look like,
A lot.
yeah, I'm happy with you guys.
I'll tell you right now, one of the biggest challenges for anybody doing construction is labor and materials.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That seems to be almost the hardest thing in the business right now. It's not raising money, and for us, it's not finding deals. It's getting rehabs done.
Yeah. It is hard.
Yeah.
It is very, 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 very hard. We go through that with our mastermind. We've got to let our investors know, hey, there's definitely some challenges. And, once in a while you get the master of the universe guy, right? Who
Yeah.
can snap his fingers and materialize everything. It's like, take me 2 weeks to get this done with my guys.
Oh, really?
Go do it.
Yeah, have at it, buddy.
Go right ahead. Yep,
Yeah.
we're all good. You're not going to offend me.
Yeah, you're just taking one more construction project off my plate.
Go right ahead. Well, no. You've already started it. Yeah, right. Just give those guys a call. Do me a favor. Give them a call. See if they can jump on this and finish in 2 weeks.
So Travis and I were having lunch with Rebecca and Brian yesterday, and he said he called 19 Sherman-Williams
To find paint. Yeah.
to find paint. And this is not a high-end luxury. This is a very basic paint that we use in a lot of. He said, I sat there all day Saturday and called 19 Sherman-Williams, and none of them had it.
Right.
And none of them had any idea when they were going to get it. I didn't know we can't get paint samples. That was another thing he said.
No more paint samples. You got to buy the quart. I mean, we had a hard time sourcing fire smoke detectors.
Yeah.
Like the very basic of basic stuff.
Right.
Couldn't source them. Had to wait 6 days to get them in.
Yeah.
Because we need it, like we're doing these apartments, so we need like 90 of them. Like it would have been a nightmare. We'd have had to hit every Home Depot in the 100 square miles of Houston.
Yeah.
So forget it. It's crazy. Wood's come down a little bit. Finished wood is still a little hard to find. There's not enough doors that match, right? So we're going through that. We like the 2-panel versus the 6-panel. We're not finding those. We're special ordering all this stuff. It's still happening. And, to your email that you wrote last night, we're just getting started from the recovery. And we're going to talk more about that in this next segment coming back here. This is Robert Jason with Mr. Texas Real Estate. Hey, if you're interested in talking about the mastermind, go ahead and text us at 281-401-9008. You want to find deals, you want to find the right deals, you want to have a good understanding how long construction is really taking. Join the mastermind. Give us a text, 281-401-9008. Text the word mastermind to 281-401-9008. We'll be back. This last segment?
This is going to be the last one.
Yep. I already lost my train of thought.
We're talking about my email last night.
Yeah.
And the recovery.
Yep.
A-Rock, I got 2 songs for you that just smell like video potential.
All right. Last segment going live in 3, 2.
Welcome back, Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network, here with Robert Orfino, the crown jewel, the studio at the Texas Real Estate Investment Center. All right, you were talking about my email last night, and we're just getting started in the recovery.
We're really just getting started with the recovery, right? So, and the Fed put a notice out and Treasury Department that, hey, it is the supply chain that is slowing down the recovery. Mm-hmm. And it's just so apparent.
The port of, this is what's wild. The port of L.A. has never had this many container ships. They can't get them unloaded fast enough.
Right.
So it's like the stuff is coming. It's just taking a while.
We're having supply chain issues, which, we haven't had since maybe the 70s, right?
Yeah.
So it's unique to this generation, the last 2 generations, people trying to figure it out. That on top of, there's still plenty of states giving people money to stay home and not work.
That's right.
So we have a labor force issue, and I know every Democrat will tell you that that's not the issue, Robert.
Yeah, that's
not
nonsense.
the issue. It's that the restaurants now they're not paying $31 an hour to go wait tables.
Right, yeah.
Where it was, $12 a year and a half ago. There's just supply issues with both labor and materials.
It's funny you mentioned the whole, restaurants and stuff. I don't sit anywhere but at the bar at any place now because it seems like the service is just not there.
Jacked, yeah.
We went to lunch yesterday. I won't tell you where. They usually have really good service. It was taking forever.
I saw where.
Yeah.
I saw the credit card bills.
Yeah. So that's why. I mean, it's
hard.
It's every place you go.
Which leads to all the way again back to your point. There's a certain segment of this population that, like me, I want my sushi. I want my General Tso's chicken. There's a pepper steak on the other side of the house, and I just call and pick it up.
Yeah.
Because if I go and sit down at a restaurant, I'm probably not going to be happy.
Yeah.
Right? They'll sell me 20 minutes. I get there in 25 minutes. Comes out. Go home. I don't have to worry about that stuff.
I was still blown away, and it's not just an age thing. I was blown away when I was in Midtown Friday night, and it was dead.
Yeah.
And Clay was closed, which is crazy on a Friday night. And Saturday didn't look that much better.
Yeah.
And even Washington was not that packed. It was a eye-opening experience this weekend.
So again, what we're seeing is the economy is slowly recovering, getting up there. All the numbers look good. There's nothing to lay at Biden's feet. All the stuff is looking fine. It's happening. We understand why there's supply chain issues. So just, don't look like a knucklehead when you start saying that stuff. It's happening everywhere, right? We understand it. It's all the numbers are looking good, which means housing prices are still going to go up.
Yeah.
Housing prices don't go down in a good economy.
No.
Right? And so we have this hope that we're going to see the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years of a good economy tied to a lot of other things, but also thrown in there as real estate. Mm-hmm. So again, man, we're just looking at these products saying, hey, we need to buy this little 17-unit C-class apartment. We're buying it. Mm-hmm. That's an 18-unit. We're buying this 18-unit. It's ours. And we know we got a good deal on it, but what's it going to be worth in 5 years?
Well, you got to look at all the ones that we've bought in the past and how much we're making on those. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And people told us, like, I don't know, you might be paying too much for it. You should probably do this instead of that. And it's like, man, we are crushing it. We're doing amazingly well on these things. Right. And it's funny because some of the offers we get on the apartments we have, we're like, hey, bro, that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, right.
You should have bought it when it was on the market for that much.
Yeah, that is a big problem. But the numbers are there. The rent's up 10%. I mean, I don't. We're doing. By the time you hear this radio show, it'll be too late. But once a month we do small apartments. We do a night on small apartments. Mm-hmm. And if you're an investor, I can't imagine not having an 8, 12, 15, 20, 25, 30 unit in your portfolio.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got the credit, if you've got the capital, if you've got the partners, what are you waiting on?
Yeah.
Because they're out there, right?
Yep.
And they may not be the perfect mix, but man, you can go get those things. So that one we're looking at, we're buying a block and a half down the street, brand new.
Oh, really?
Apartments going up.
Wow.
Brand new luxury living. So we're 1 block off of the new line.
Jeez. It's coming.
We're right there. And we
Prices,
got all those other ones over on the other side.
Prices get to the point where they just bulldoze these things down. They put a big apartment, a huge fence around it.
I'm always wondering, what are we sitting on today that was going to be, we'll bring back to dirt at some point in the next 5 years, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Including this building.
Well, this building is.
All right. We bought just a little, we're bought at land value right now.
Yeah, we bought at $5 per square foot for the building of land value.
Yes.
And and when our broker brought that to us and he said, hey, boys, this is what's going on. Like, y'all are buying this, the land value, plus the building. You add the building, it only added $5 a square foot to the land value. Yeah. And I thought, that's insane. He's like, we're not spending a bunch of money on rehab because they're just going to tear this down and build a high-rise on it in 5 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you look at how much equity we got in this thing, I mean, it turned out, I have all the emails still of all those folks that said, don't buy the building.
There's over $1 million in equity in this.
Yeah, easily. Easily. And it's like...
And comes from our friend, the commercial broker, who told us exactly what the number would be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he said, buy the... Yeah.
Yep.
Because he's got a bunch of buildings out here he's selling right now. Right. Yeah. Selling or he's sold or they're filling up and all that.
He knows right now. He's like, you'll definitely get this.
Yeah, it's like this all day long, right? Yep. So it's fascinating to me. And I got some nasty emails yesterday when I sent out my email. These guys that still want to argue with me, I'm like, man, I've been right 8 years in a row. Yeah. And you've been wrong 8 years in a row. Oh, the crash is coming, crash is coming, crash is coming, the world's going to end. You've been wrong 8 years in a row. Mm-hmm. Wow, you have got some great consistency there. Go to YouTube. This is one of my favorite things to do. Go to YouTube and type in real estate crash and a year and see how many videos pop up. Yep. Real estate crash 2020, 2019, sure. 2018, 2017. Yep. And it's like, you guys are spectacularly wrong.
Well, remember the big thing was like 2016, 17? These things run in 8-year cycles, Rob.
Yeah.
So for sure, 2016, we're going to see a crash 2017.
And they don't run in 8-year cycles. They run in 20-year cycles. I know. But
that's the word.
Yeah, it's a 20-year cycle. So it's so funny. Yeah. Y'all missed the stock market crash. That happened back in March last year. So
I didn't. Not
yeah,
this
that's
guy.
True. Not this guy.
Not this guy. I'm teaching a class.
There you go. Bill Ackman was hilarious. So when I watched him yesterday at the gym, he was talking about how the economy is going to boom and all that other stuff. He almost called the bottom to the day and made $1 gazillion. Sure, now, I'm not a big Bill Ackman fan because of that little feud he's got with Carl Icahn. But, I mean, he was right on the money. And that's what motivated me to send that email out. Guys, like, if the economy does even half of what Ackman's predicting, it's going to be absolutely insane. And then I looked at my personal experience, all the stuff that was going on this weekend, where I'm like, restaurants are still not full. Neither are bars, neither are clubs. Like, it's gonna. And the question is this the new normal or is it going to come back? And I think it'll come back.
I'll just say this to some of the active members of our community that like to voice their counter thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
I know 2 of them, and they haven't told me, but that went out and did everything we told them to do, but are still telling you there's going to be a crash.
Oh, okay.
Like they own a couple Airbnbs, they bought
Oh,
some
yeah.
small multifamilies. Like they're doing exactly what we told them to do, and they're still arguing with you over the crash. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, guys. So some of it may just be fun.
Yeah, it may just be screwing around on
Just
Facebook.
messing
Yeah.
around with it. Yep.
Well, but that's a classic example of I don't listen to what people say. I haven't done that in years. I watch their behavior.
Right.
And their behavior tells me everything about their motives.
All right, guys. Thanks again for checking us out. We're gonna be over at Stampede tonight, so you should be listening to this as you're driving out of the parking lot. Thursday night at the Texas Real Estate Investment Center, we have a mastermind preview. We'd love to see you there. That's a big, big night if you're thinking about getting into this, or if you're stuck or you hit a wall. It's time to get off the snide here, join us, and start working with our group. We're massively successful, and we want you to be successful as well. Thanks again for listening. We'll be back tomorrow night.